Welcome to the factory of programming. Prepare your mind for exclusive tech experience. Listening to Vivo Bon right now.
Hello, today we will see the new feature of Angular 20.2, the animate.enter and animate.leave feature. Goodbye at Angular animation and hello to animate.enter and animate.leave from Angular 20.2. Starting with Angular 20.2, the Angular animation package is deprecated. You should no more use it. Instead, you animate directly from templates using two new features, animate.enter and animate.leave. It is simpler, lighter, and leverages native CSS or your favorite JS animation library, like we'll see in this article. So, why is this change? This change brings simpler developer experience, no framework, specific DSL, just HTML plus CSS or a JS library. Smaller bundles, removing at Angular animation can significantly reduce JS size and smooth performance. Use GPU-friendly CSS transition animation. What the new feature do in a nutshell? Animate.enter equal class A, class B, apply CSS classes when an element enters the DOM. Yeah? And animate.leave equal class C, applies classes when an element leaves. Angular removes the node after the longest transition animation ends. And you can also do, like with a JS function, animate.leave equal onLeave, and you pass a $event. It runs your own JS animation, web animation, API, etc. Then call $event.animationComplete, so Angular knows it can remove the element. If you forget, Angular times out after 4 seconds, configurable thanks to max animation timeout. So we'll see some example. For example, for the enter, you have here a snippet at if isShown, and you put a div which has the attributes animate.enter equal fade in, and fade in is a CSS class you declare in your style, in your CSS style. And you can see here in the style fade in animation slide fade 300 milliseconds is out both from opacity 0 to opacity 1. So this will make appear the div. Leave, same principle. At if is shown, and you have a div which animate leave attribute, which the style fade out, and then you define the fade out attribute. So Angular removes the element after the transition finish. And then you got also the JS function style way with a div. You put function call animate.leave equal onLeave $event, and then you have the function just here in your controller onLeave event any, and then you put the transition animate from opacity 1 to opacity 0 with the duration of the animation. And you have also event listener. So what you will do to be able to benefit from this, you will have to migrate your application. So there is 4 quick steps. First, make the inventory of your existing triggers, domain-specific language, and all trigger, transition, state, enter, and leave. Re-implement it with the CSS classes plus the attributes animate.enter and animate.leave. You know, like this. Here animate.leave and animate.enter. Okay. And then for any JS choreography, switch to animate.leave with animation.complete, like we saw just here with the JS onLeave and the function. And remove at Angular animation once depths are updated, the package that is quite heavy and will make you benefit from memory footprint. So we'll check this with an application that has been built. You can download it just here on this repo, Vini 59200 ng-animate-enter-leave.git, and the result is just here. So I will show you. So here is the code. I will have to install npm Okay, so I have got the module. Now I will start my application. Please. Okay, so let's have a look at the code before getting in the code at the web page. So I refresh. So you've got here the page which explains animate.enter adds CSS classes when element appears, animate.leave adds CSS class when element disappears and removes the node after the transition animation ends, and animate.leave in parentheses let you run GS animation here with animation API and then call animation complete. So for example, for animate enter and animate leave, we've got this panel, and I do up, I disappear, animate leave, and animate enter. Okay, and here we have stagger in, stagger out with a list. If I do remove, it's remove, and if I do that, and it relies also with animation. And so now with a GS animation, and you see it works also same principle. So we'll tune a little bit this script so you see the difference. For example, if I get back to my code, in the code I have a controller like this. So like usual, you declare your component, you have some stuff, you declare the method, and here you have the GS way to do the animation. Okay, drive the leave animation with the web animation API, Angular pass an animation callback event, like object as $event, and you see just here from opacity 1 to opacity 0 with a duration of animation. Then we have the template. So here it is the template of the web page. Here it is a little info. Okay. Here it is the first part. So the panel. Let's get back to the panel. So you see, I do that. Okay. And now I will make it way more slow. So I modify, for example, it is in the style. So panel fade in, I will put, for example, 5 seconds. Okay. And fade out. Up, just here. Can put opacity. I save it, okay. I get back to my application. Okay, and I do toggle, and you see it's way slower. And I toggle, and also. So you see the interaction between the CSS and the application. I reload, okay, and you see now it gets to a normal speed. And you can do that with all the other part at the level of the CSS. For example, stagger in, stagger out, you can modify this and this, and it will modify the way of displaying the item of the list. And so I think we have seen the code in its whole state. So the component, the template, the panel, the list, and the JS-driven panel. And the controller, we have seen it, so I think it's okay. So to conclude, the GS animation and the animate enter, animate leave from the new feature of Angular 20.2 is really a good thing to get all these benefits. So smaller bundles, simpler developer experience, and smooth performance. Thank you very much, and maybe see you in another video. Bye.